Welcome to another episode of Terry's Notes, and today we are going to be looking at question 2 in the January 2016 paper. So this is question 2, part A. So A part 1 asks us to solve for x in this inequality. So we have 8 minus x is less than or equal to 5x plus 2. So if we carry all the x's on one side, we can have minus x minus 5x is less than or equal to 2. Carry the 8 on this side, we end up with minus 8. So minus x minus 5x is minus 6x is less than or equal to 2 minus 8 is minus 6. Now, if we divide both sides of the equation by minus 6, we end up with x. Now, whenever you divide by, let's say, minus 6 here, we have to change the sign and it'll become greater than or equal to 1. Right? If that is not clear, let me show you what I'm doing here. If we have minus 6x is greater than or equal to minus 6, right? And we put the minus 6 on the side and we put the 6x on the side, we end up with 6 is less than or equal to 6x, right? And if we divide both sides by 6, we end up with 1 is less than or equal to x, which is the same thing. If we read in this direction, we say x is greater than or equal to 1. If we read in this direction, we say x is greater than or equal to 1 as well. Now, they want us, in part 2, they want us to show the solution on a number line. So the first thing we need to do is to circle where 1 is. So we're going to put a circle like this, right? Because the solution is x is greater than or equal to 1. And because we have a greater than or equal sign, we have to shade the circle. If it was not, then we wouldn't shade the circle. And we want greater than, so therefore we need to have the arrow pointing in this way, this direction, right? If it was less than or equal to 1, then the arrow would go to the left. But because we want greater than or equal to 1, the arrow needs to point in this direction. Okay? For part B, we want to expand and simplify. Okay, so we have some brackets here. So first thing we need to do, we say 2x multiplied by x, which will give me 2x squared. And then we need to take the 2x and multiply by plus 5. So we end up with plus 10x. And then we have to simplify the second bracket. So you have minus 3 multiplied by x. So we end up with minus 3x. And then we have to take the minus 3 and multiply it by minus 4, which would give me plus 12. Because a minus multiplied by a minus becomes a plus. So we end up with 2x squared. 10x minus 3x is 7x. So plus 7x plus 12. Okay. So in part C, we are asked to simplify this. Alright, so on the numerator we have 3x squared multiplied by 4x cubed. So we multiply the numbers first. So 4 3's will give us 12. And then x squared by x to the x cubed is x to the 5th. How did I do that? From your indices rules, if we have e to the power m multiplied by a to the power n, we end up with m plus n. So therefore, if we have x squared multiplied by x cubed, we end up with x to the 2 plus 3, which is equal to x to the 5, or x to the 5th. Alright, so that's how I got 12x to the 5th over 2x. And we can simplify this further. 2 can go into 12 6 times. And x to the 5th divided by x would give me x to the 4th. Alright, how did I get that? I applied the division rule for indices. So if we have a to the m over a to the n, that is equal to a to the m minus n. So in this case we had x to the 5th over x, which is the same as x to the 1, and this becomes x to the 5 minus 1, which is equal to x to the power 4. So that is how I got x to the power 4 here. Alright, in part D we have to write as a single fraction. Alright, whenever we are asked to simplify algebraic fractions, the first thing we need to do is to find the LCM. The LCM of 2 and 5 is 10. So 2 can go into 10 5 times. And then we have to multiply by the numerator here, which is x plus 1. Plus, we keep in the same sign. 5 can go into 10 2 times. Into 5 minus x. Alright, so just for students to understand what I'm doing here. In the first part where I got this 5, I took this 10 and divided it by 2, and I got 5. And then I have to take this 5 now and multiply by the numerator here. Alright, and that is how I got this first term. And then in the second part I had to take 10 and divide it by 5. I got 2, and then I had to take this 2 and multiply by 5 minus x. Alright, now simplifying the numerator here now. We have to take the 5 and multiply by x, and then take the 5 and multiply by plus 1. So we end up with 5x plus 5. And then we have to take plus 2 and multiply by 5, and then plus 2 and multiply by minus x. So 2 plus 2 multiplied by 5 will give me 10. Sorry about that. And 2 by minus x will give me minus 2x. And all of that is over 10. Now we simplify the top. We have 5x minus 2x, which will give me 3x, and 5 plus 10 will give me 15, and that is all over 10. Okay, and the last part, part E, we have to factorize 4x squared minus 4. So the first thing we realize, we have 4 is a factor of this term and this term, so we can pull out 4, and we end up with x squared minus 1. Alright, but we know that x squared minus 1 is the difference of 2 squares, so this will be 4 open brackets x plus 1 by x minus 1. Alright, I'm using this identity, a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b into a minus b. Right, so in this case we had x squared minus 1, right, which is the same as saying x squared minus 1 squared, because 1 squared is equal to 1. And if we apply the identity here, it is x plus 1 into x minus 1. Okay.